We got you updated. We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
This is Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. President Paul Kagame today joined over 200 participants of the African Philanthropy Forum. Rwanda and the United Nations celebrated the 60th anniversary of the country's membership today. Rishi Sunak has become British Prime Minister today after other candidates quit the race to lead the Conservative Party. Welcome back. News in detail. President Paul Kagame and First Lady Janet Kagame today joined over 200 participants of the African Philanthropy Forum themed African Philanthropists Closing the Gender Gap. The head of state remarked that increasing philanthropic initiatives by African individuals and organizations is critically important, but not only because of the money. It is about having the dignity as Africans to choose for ourselves the future we want. Later this evening, President Kagame received Her Excellency Graça Machel, founder of the Graça Machel Trust and the Foundation for Community Development, who is in Rwanda for the African Philanthropy Forum. The Graça Machel Trust was established in 2010 as a Pan-African advocacy organization focused on child health and nutrition, education, women's economic and financial empowerment, leadership, and good governance. Rwanda and the United Nations celebrated the 60th anniversary of the country's membership today with a commitment for further collaboration for a better and shared future. Dr. Vincent Biruta, Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, said in the 60 years journey, Rwanda has been partnering with the UN across a broad range of sectors that target to achieve her sustainable development goals, including agriculture to address youth employment, socio-political and economic transformation of the country. Maxwell Gomera, UN Rwanda resident coordinator, said while the UN failed Rwanda during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, it holds the national transformation and resilience of survivors in high regards. During the celebrations, Rwanda also committed further partnership in addressing common challenges in diverse areas. Rwanda is one of the biggest contributors to the UN peacekeeping missions, with over 5,000 military and police personnel deployed in different African countries. 3 officials have been arrested in connection with serious theft at IPRC Kigali. The school principal was arrested together with the Director of Administration and Finance, Mohimund Thomas, and the Director of Logistics, Mediatrice Waneje. This comes a day after the case of theft at IPRC was reported to the general public by Rwanda's Ministry of Education. The ministry informed the general public that the school was closed with immediate effect for 2 weeks pending investigation into the matter. The communique informed the students they will be facilitated to return home, and after their vacation, none will be allowed to access its premises until further notice. The Minister of State in charge of TVET, Claudette Idede, said the stolen equipment at IPRC are in 3 categories, including workshop equipment for class use, the school's proper assets, and assets destined to public use. Minister Idede said the school calendar will be disrupted mostly for the secondary level, which will require them to adjust to intensive programs when the campus reopens. The Rwanda Investigations Bureau has called on parents to get their children tested for drugs as soon as they suspect they are using in order to prevent their children from becoming drug addicts. According to Thierry Murangira, spokesperson for the Bureau, there are children who are lying about how consuming drugs improve their academic performance. He urged the parents to exercise caution and avoid believing such claims. He advised parents to test their kids at the Rwanda Forensic Laboratory to rule out drug use when they start witnessing strange behavior in their kids. In Rwanda, a 2018 mental health survey by the Rwanda Biomedical Center revealed that 1.8% of the youth suffer from drug and alcohol-related disorders. The 60th Annual Africa Shared Value Leadership Summit is set to kick off on October 25th at the Kigali Convention Center. The summit, which will run for 2 days, provides a platform for business leaders from across Africa to collaborate and discuss how shared value thinking can drive technological and business solutions to address Africa's technology challenge. The summit's unifying theme, One Africa, One Voice, underscores the need for organizations to work together across borders and industries for the benefit of all. The summit will run simultaneously alongside the Mobile World Congress Africa Summit.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
The Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. The trading session recorded its turnover of 3,120,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in one deal on the fixed income market and 43,000 Rwandan francs from 1,000 I&M bank shares traded in one deal on the equities market. I&M Bank closed the counter at 43 Rwandan francs. The rest of the equities counters closed with Bralirwa at 170 Rwandan francs, Bank of Kigali at 272 Rwandan francs, Simirwa at 120 Rwandan francs, MTN Rwanda at 174 Rwandan francs, Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uchumi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. The currency market review of today. Burundian franc buying price 0.5 and the selling price 0.51. Ugandan shilling buying price 0.27 and the selling price was 0.275. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.44 and the selling price was 0.45. Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.5 and the selling price was 8.7. The euro buying price 1,020 and the selling price 1,040. British pound buying price 1,176 and the selling price was 1,199. The US dollar buying price was 1,036 and the selling price was 1,057.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Rishi Sunak has become the British Prime Minister today after other candidates quit the race to lead the Conservative Party. Sunak, one of the wealthiest politicians in Westminster, will be asked to form a government by King Charles, replacing Liz Truss, the outgoing leader, who only lasted about 45 days in the job. He defeated centrist politician Penny Mordaunt, who failed to get enough backing from lawmakers to enter the ballot, while his rival, the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, withdrew from the contest, saying he could no longer reunite the party. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has urged Kenya's President William Ruto to speed up investigations of murdered Pakistani journalist Arshad Sharif. Ashad Sharif was shot dead Sunday night along the Nairobi-Magadi highway in what police called a mistake in what police termed mistaken identity. Mr. Sharif noted that the president had promised to fast-track the process of repatriating the remains of the slain journalist. Further, he revealed that he had urged Dr. Ruto to ensure a fair and transparent investigation into the incident, which he called shocking. The United States Embassy has issued a security alert on the elevated risk of terror attacks in Abuja, the Nigerian capital. Following US's embassy terror warning, the British High Commission also issued an advisory to its staff on movement while also announcing reduced services. According to reports, other European countries are reducing services and will be attending only to critical needs. In a swift reaction, the Department of State Services called for calm, saying necessary precautions are being taken to secure the Federal Capital Territory and other parts of Nigeria. According to a statement from the embassy in Abuja, targets of the terrorist attack may include government buildings, places of worship, schools, markets, shopping malls, hotels, bars, restaurants, athletic gatherings, among others. The final meeting of the African nations climate negotiators ahead of the global UN summit kicked off in the Namibian capital today. Participants are expected to focus on how to ramp up renewable energy on the continent, how the continent will transition towards clean energy without leaving the poorest communities behind, and ensuring renewables help boost nations' economies will be a major discussion point for African delegations, according to Africa Climate Policy Center's James Murambezi. He added that participants are also likely to look at how to finance more renewable power on the continent, as well as seek additional funds to help vulnerable communities adapt to weather extremes and ensure food security. With that, we come to the end of tonight's edition. However, following the news program is the whole speech of President Paul Kagame at the African Philanthropy Forum.